For decades, we've been told a golden truth. It was a bedrock principle passed down from generation to generation. Get a degree, specialize, earn a professional certification, and you're set for life. It was more than just advice, it was a societal contract, a blueprint for stability and success. Go to school, work hard, get that coveted license, and you'd have a career that was resilient enough to weather any storm. That promise, once an unshakable pillar, is now crumbling right before our very eyes. This is not some distant science fiction future. It is happening right here, right now, in 2026. Imagine the brightest minds in economics converging for the annual American Economic Association meeting. Picture the hushed reverence, the gravitas of intellectual discourse. Then, imagine a former United States Bureau of Labor Statistics official steps to the podium. He delivers a bombshell warning with the starkness of a prophet, not a nuanced academic paper. His message is blunt, uncompromising, and utterly terrifying for anyone with children or anyone contemplating their own career path. Don't send your kids into law. Let that sink in for a moment. Law, the very pinnacle of professional aspiration, once considered an impenetrable fortress of intellect and expertise, is now being declared obsolete by those who track the pulse of the American workforce. And it's not just law, it's accounting, it's medicine, it's engineering. These are fields we once deemed elite, safe, and future-proof. They are all, without exception, on the chopping block. This isn't merely about a few niche jobs disappearing. It's not a fleeting economic downturn that will eventually self-correct. Oh no. This is a systemic quake, a tectonic shift beneath the entire foundation of modern labor. It's a rapid, unforgiving redefinition of work itself. This shift is leaving even those who meticulously followed the rules, who did everything right, asking with a tremor in their voice, "What now?" The feeling is akin to standing on solid ground one moment, only for the earth to liquefy beneath your feet the next. It's a profound betrayal of the implicit trust we placed in traditional institutions and career paths. The future we were promised has evaporated, replaced by a landscape that is both unrecognizable and unsettling. Now, let's be crystal clear about what we're witnessing. This isn't simply another industrial revolution, a cyclical upheaval where machines arrive to augment human labor. That kind of revolution makes us more efficient and productive. No, this is something far more profound. This is an intelligence revolution, a paradigm shift where artificial intelligence isn't merely assisting, it is replacing human cognitive functions, not in isolated instances, but at a scale and speed truly unprecedented in human history. The Industrial Revolution gave us steam power and assembly lines, enabling humans to produce more goods with less physical strain. It freed us from the brute force of labor. But this AI revolution is freeing us from the thinking of labor. It's liberating us from the tasks that define our intellect, our problem-solving abilities, our creativity. The speed of this shift, the sheer velocity at which AI is integrating and dominating these cognitive domains, is unlike anything humanity has ever prepared for. Our institutions, our education systems, our very understanding of career progression are hopelessly outmoded. They operate on models designed for a world that no longer exists. Just a few short years ago, the mantra was simple, unwavering, and seemingly infallible. Learn to code. It was the golden ticket, the digital alchemist formula for transforming ambition into prosperity. Parents pushed their children towards STEM fields with the fervor of religious converts. But look around today. Data from leading professional networking platforms like LinkedIn reveals a dramatic, even precipitous decline in employment prospects for computer science graduates. In some cases, their job hunt success rates have plummeted to be on par with, or even worse than, those holding traditional liberal arts degrees. The golden ticket has tarnished, almost overnight. Why? The answer, devastatingly simple, is artificial intelligence. AI can now often generate clean, functional code faster, more accurately, and with far fewer errors than its human counterparts. It can debug entire applications in seconds, refactor complex systems, and even design new architectures. A task that once required a team of 10 developers working for a month can now be orchestrated by one highly skilled human leveraging AI tools in a matter of days. The very skill that was supposed to insulate us, to guarantee our relevance in the digital age, has been commoditized and is rapidly being automated. This isn't just a tough job market. It's not merely a recession or a slight economic readjustment. Oh no. This is the most profound reordering of human roles in the entirety of recorded history. It's a fundamental restructuring of what it means to work, to contribute, and to find value in your labor. And it's affecting every single layer of the workforce. This includes the most highly skilled professionals, the doctors, lawyers, and engineers, who believed their cognitive superiority was unassailable. It also impacts those performing what we once considered purely manual labor, the truck drivers, the factory workers, and the logistics specialists. The old hierarchy of skills is crumbling, and the new one is still being written, often by algorithms rather than by human design. The implications are staggering, challenging not just our economic models, but our very sense of purpose and identity. We are standing at the precipice of a new era. The rules of engagement are being rewritten in real time, demanding an entirely new approach to career, to investment, and to life itself. So, how exactly is this seismic reordering of our world happening? Let's peel back the layers and examine the core mechanisms at play, starting with the very professions we once held as sacrosanct, the bastions of professional credentials. Consider first the legal profession. For centuries, the path to becoming a lawyer was arduous, demanding, and prestigious. You went to law school, you passed the bar, and then typically you entered a firm as a junior associate. Your initial years were often spent in what amounted to intellectual grunt work. This included sifting through millions of legal documents for precedent, conducting extensive legal research, drafting initial contracts, and preparing discovery requests. These tasks were tedious, time-consuming, and required hundreds, if not thousands of hours of human labor. They were the crucible through which aspiring lawyers were forged, justifying the immense fees charged to clients, and providing a clear, albeit challenging, career ladder. But that ladder is now being dismantled, rung, by artificial intelligence. Law firms, once hungry for cohorts of fresh-faced graduates, are drastically cutting entry-level hires. Why? Because the very tasks that once consumed hundreds of associate hours can now be completed by AI in mere seconds, or minutes at most. Imagine an AI sifting through a database of 50 million legal documents, identifying relevant case law, statutes, and precedents with near-perfect accuracy. It can present a concise summary, all before a human could even finish their first cup of coffee. Think of the hours spent on due diligence for a merger or acquisition. AI can now analyze thousands of contracts, identify key clauses, risks, and discrepancies faster and more accurately than an army of junior lawyers. For law firms, the economic incentive is irresistible. AI offers unparalleled efficiency, often superior accuracy, and crucially, zero salary, no benefits, no office space requirements, and no risk of human error or burnout. The return on investment for AI solutions far outstrips the value proposition of a newly minted law school graduate. This shift isn't theoretical. It's already evident in areas like congressional budget analysis. There, AI streamlines the processing of colossal datasets, making sense of complex financial legislation in a way that dramatically reduces the need for human analysts. The jobs aren't just changing, they're disappearing, replaced by algorithms that are simply better, faster, and cheaper at the core analytical work of law. Now, let's turn our gaze to the accounting profession, another field once considered utterly indispensable and secure. Similar trends are battering this sector with a relentless force. After major regulatory changes, like the Sarbanes-Oxley Act and the global adoption of international financial reporting standards, there was a global surge in demand for accountants. It seemed like a safe bet. Yet, paradoxically, at the same time, the major accounting firms, the vaunted Big Four, have been quietly but systematically scaling back entry-level hiring. This isn't a contradiction. It's a symptom of the AI revolution. AI tools are transforming accounting from a human-intensive process into an automated one. These sophisticated algorithms can reconcile vast ledgers, detecting anomalies that would take human eyes days or weeks to spot. They can process thousands upon thousands of invoices in a fraction of the time it would take a team of human accountants. They can generate detailed financial reports, manage tax filings, and conduct exhaustive audits with a speed and precision that humans simply cannot match. This eliminates the need for vast numbers of human, quote, data jockeys, the very roles that traditionally served as the entry point for accounting graduates. The once coveted Certified Public Accountant, or CPA, license, while still a rigorous credential, is increasingly becoming a baseline requirement rather than a guarantee of employment. We're seeing a growing number of highly qualified individuals, CPA certified, struggling to find practical experience because the foundational work they trained for has been taken over by machines. This brings us to a striking economic insight, highlighted by former officials from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. They've pointed to a profound paradox. U.S. corporate productivity is currently at a decade high. Companies are generating more output, delivering more services, and producing more goods than ever before. This surge in productivity is directly attributable to technological advancements, primarily the adoption of artificial intelligence and advanced automation. Yet concurrently, new job creation in many of these very sectors has fallen significantly, often hovering near zero or even dipping into negative territory. This isn't a coincidence. It's a direct cause and effect. Companies are increasing their output with fewer human workers. They are openly attributing the completion of core tasks, tasks like design, research, data analysis, and even complex problem solving, to AI. In doing so, they are effectively, quote unquote, deleting the need for new human hires. This creates a bottleneck that prevents even the most qualified graduates from entering the workforce. The engine of economic growth is roaring, but it's running on a fuel that fewer and fewer humans are needed to refine. This leads to a devastating crowding out effect, a ripple of displacement that extends far beyond the tech giants. When top-tier tech companies like Google, Microsoft, and Amazon significantly reduce or freeze their hiring for highly skilled tech roles, the most talented STEM graduates, often from elite universities, are left without their traditional landing spots. What do? They are forced to, quote, trade down, applying to mid-sized companies or even smaller startups for roles they might once have considered beneath their qualifications. This creates a cascade, pushing out candidates who traditionally targeted those mid-tier roles. It's an academic and skills inflation in reverse, where the value of a degree and specific technical skills depreciates rapidly as the market becomes saturated with overqualified individuals. The impact of this isn't contained within the tech bubble. It creates a brutal consequence for liberal arts graduates and generalists. For decades, while STEM graduates specialized, liberal arts majors often found fulfilling roles in general administration, marketing, sales, human resources, or various forms of general knowledge work. These were the roles where critical thinking, communication, and adaptability were prized. But now, these roles are under siege. As STEM graduates are pushed down the employment ladder, they enter direct competition for these generalist positions. And here's the kicker. They not only possess their technical skills, but they are also increasingly adept at using AI, making them formidable competitors. As noted by professors from institutions like the University of Rochester, this isn't merely about tougher competition. It's about liberal arts graduates being pushed out of the labor market entirely. Their traditional pathways are being closed off from both ends. Specialized roles demand technical AI proficiency, and generalist roles are being filled by STEM graduates who now also wield AI as a weapon in the job market. For many years, there was a comforting myth that certain domains of human endeavor would always be immune to the cold logic of algorithms: creativity, empathy, and sales. We told ourselves that the human touch, the spark of originality, the ability to connect emotionally or to persuade another person, were uniquely human attributes that AI could never replicate. Yet, initial data is already challenging this deeply held belief, shattering the illusion of human uniqueness. Take freelance writers, for example. In the span of just a few years, many have seen their average incomes decline by roughly 10%. Why? Because clients, from small businesses to large corporations, are increasingly opting for AI-generated content. An AI can produce articles, blog posts, marketing copy, and even creative fiction at breakneck speed for a fraction of the cost. While the AI-generated content might be largely effective, it is instant and virtually free. The remaining refinement can often be completed by a much smaller, highly skilled human editor, leveraging AI tools to quickly polish and personalize the output. The market no longer demands a human to craft every word. It demands efficiency and sufficient quality. Similarly, sales and marketing professionals who rely heavily on persuasion and understanding human needs are seeing early signs of wage compression. Some reports indicate income declines of more than 2%. AI-powered tools can analyze vast amounts of customer data, identify optimal sales leads, personalize marketing messages at scale, and even conduct initial sales outreach with conversational AI. While the final closing of a complex deal might still require a human, the upstream work, the lead generation, the nurturing, the qualification, all of that is rapidly being automated. The human salesperson becomes less of a hunter and more of a highly specialized closer, operating on a much smaller, pre-qualified pool of leads generated by AI. This fundamental shift represents a change in the value proposition. Businesses are making a clear economic calculation. They are choosing largely effective, instant, free AI output over 100% perfect, expensive, time-consuming human output. The marginal utility of human perfection is diminishing, especially when the cost difference is so stark. It's a classic case of good enough becoming the new standard, dramatically altering the demand for human labor. This isn't just about fewer jobs in these domains, it's about a structural transformation. It's a complete reshaping of the entire structure and quality of jobs. The traditional middle class of knowledge workers, the project managers, the mid-level analysts, the content creators, the administrative support staff, are seeing their roles automated out of existence. These were the roles that provided stability, growth, and a pathway to economic security for millions. As AI takes over their core cognitive tasks, this once vibrant middle is being hollowed out, creating a more polarized job market. You are either at the very top, directing and innovating with AI, or at the very bottom, performing simple tasks that AI cannot yet do, or that are too uneconomical for it to tackle. The jobs that offered intellectual engagement without requiring ultimate executive responsibility are vanishing, leaving a chasm in the middle of our professional landscape. The blue-collar worker, the manual laborer, the skilled tradesperson. For generations, these roles were considered a safe refuge. They were a physical sanctuary from the encroachment of automation. The logic was simple. Machines could think, but they couldn't physically build, transport, or repair with the dexterity and adaptability of a human. This bedrock assumption, however, is proving to be a dangerously naive illusion. As a former deputy commissioner of the United States Bureau of Labor Statistics unequivocally pointed out, for many blue-collar workers, AI and robotics are not arriving as aids or tools to augment human effort. They are arriving as complete and direct substitutes. Modern robots, now imbued with sophisticated AI brains, are not just performing repetitive tasks. They are rapidly colonizing logistics warehouses, revolutionizing manufacturing floors, and even beginning to navigate complex, unstructured environments that were once the exclusive domain of human operators. Consider Amazon's fulfillment centers. What once required hundreds of human hands to sort, pick, and transport goods now sees thousands of autonomous robots gliding across vast warehouses. They coordinate with an efficiency and speed that human teams simply cannot match. A task that once demanded 100 people might now be accomplished by just 2 or 3, overseeing the machines, ensuring their smooth operation. The cost of advanced robotics is plummeting, making them economically viable for an ever wider range of industries. Simultaneously, their capabilities are skyrocketing, from navigating chaotic factory floors to performing incredibly delicate assembly tasks. This is exemplified by the remarkable progress in humanoid robots like Tesla's Optimus. These aren't just industrial arms on an assembly line. These are autonomous agents learning and adapting, pushing the boundaries of what physical machines can do. The direct impact of this automation is devastatingly clear. Employment in sectors like logistics and manufacturing is experiencing negative job creation. New roles are simply not being formed, and existing ones are being eliminated. For those human workers who remain, their wages are under intense, relentless pressure. When a robot can perform a task faster, more cheaply, with higher precision, and without complaint, sick days, or demands for benefits, the bargaining power of human labor diminishes significantly. This isn't theoretical. It's leading to widespread wage compression, even in roles we previously thought required inherent human interaction, like sales and marketing. This is evidenced by recent studies from institutions like New York University, which report significant wage reductions, with some estimates pointing to declines of up to 9% in AI-impacted sectors. The economic incentive for companies to replace human labor with intelligent automation is simply too powerful to ignore. Despite these clear and present dangers, a fascinating and deeply concerning phenomenon is taking hold: the fear insurance paradox. We are witnessing, counterintuitively, a surge in applications for professional certification exams. In a world where job disruption is rampant and visible across every sector, younger generations, gripped by deep-seated anxiety, are frantically seeking solace in the old blueprints for security. Their reasoning is straightforward, yet tragically flawed. Surely a government-approved license, a recognized professional certification, will protect me. It must be my last, best hope for stability, even if AI eventually takes over much of the work. They believe that this state-sanctioned credential will prevent them from becoming completely irrelevant. This creates an illusion of security. It is a desperate, collective climb up a quote-unquote hill that may not be nearly high enough to escape the approaching AI quote-unquote tsunami. A professional license, once a golden key to lifelong security and a vibrant career, is increasingly becoming akin to a key to a car without an engine. You possess the credential, the proof of expertise, but the actual workplace where that credential can be meaningfully applied is shrinking or disappearing altogether as core tasks are automated. Companies are becoming less interested in whether you possess a license and far more interested in how effectively you can leverage AI tools to perform the work that once required many unlicensed individuals. The license becomes a mere entry requirement, not a guarantee of meaningful work, let alone advancement. The value has shifted from the credential itself to the ability to direct and integrate powerful AI systems. So, where is this all heading? Let's explore two distinct yet equally plausible future scenarios that illuminate the potential trajectory of our professional world. Scenario 1: the knowledge aristocracy and hyperpolarization. In this grim future, the very concept of a middle class, once the backbone of industrial societies and guaranteed by professional credentials, effectively disappears. The professional landscape irrevocably splits into two starkly contrasting tiers. At the apex, a tiny 1% comprises those who truly master and direct artificial intelligence. These are the architects, the strategists, the ultimate decision makers who define problems, craft high-level prompts, and wield AI as an extension of their strategic will. Below them, a vast 99% become what we might call prompt slaves. They perform simple, repetitive tasks, execute AI-generated instructions, or engage in basic data input or validation, all dictated by algorithms. In this world, knowledge itself becomes a free, ubiquitous commodity, accessible to anyone with an internet connection. The true value, therefore, lies not in knowing things, but in exercising ultimate responsibility, judgment, and the courage to make decisions where the stakes are highest. For strategic investors in this scenario, the focus must shift from human capital to the ownership of AI infrastructure, the foundational models, or truly AI-proof assets. These are assets whose value cannot be synthesized or replicated by algorithms. Investors might consider things that are intrinsically rare, deeply personal, or hold unique historical significance. Alternatively, we could see scenario 2, the experience, capital, and trust economy. This is a more counterintuitive future, as knowledge becomes an abundant, free resource, effortlessly generated and disseminated by AI. Human connection, empathy, direct experience, and genuine human interaction evolve into the ultimate luxury. People will willingly pay a significant premium, not just for solutions, which AI can provide with incredible efficiency, but for the human touch, the reassurance, the genuine trust that AI, for all its brilliance, simply cannot replicate. In this future, the key assets are not just what you know, but who you know, the depth of your personal network, your ability to define complex human problems that AI can then help solve, and crucially, the wisdom to apply AI's vast knowledge with genuine human insight, understanding, and ethical consideration. Strategic investment strategies here might naturally gravitate towards real estate in prime locations, offering unparalleled experiential value, or intellectual property tied to unique human creativity, deep emotional resonance, and truly original artistic expression. It's a world where the human element is not a weakness to be automated, but a scarcity to be valued and cultivated. Ultimately, the widespread collapse of traditional career paths and the job displacement we are all witnessing is not, in its essence, a disaster. Rather, it is a massive, unprecedented societal filter. It is relentlessly, almost brutally, weeding out what we might call human, quote-unquote, data processors. These are those who primarily perform cognitive tasks that are repetitive, predictable, or based on readily available information. In their place, it is rapidly elevating, quote, directors. These are individuals who possess the foresight, the strategic thinking, and the adaptive intelligence to leverage AI as a sophisticated tool. They see it as a powerful extension of their own will, used to create entirely new forms of value. So here is your actionable plan. First, reevaluate your primary asset, your career. Stop staking your future on past quote-unquote medals, on the degrees you earned, the certifications you painstakingly acquired, or the job titles you held. These are rapidly becoming relics of a bygone era. Instead, honestly assess your current professional role. What percentage of your daily tasks can artificial intelligence automate right now or in the very near future? If that figure is hovering at or above 80%, then your core professional identity requires an immediate, urgent overhaul. You must transition swiftly and decisively from doing the work yourself to directing AI to do the work. Or you must pivot entirely towards areas of truly unique human contribution. These are the realms of empathy, deep creativity, complex problem definition, and ethical judgment that AI cannot yet master. Second, critically examine your investment portfolio. Just as you rethink your career, you must rethink where you place your financial bets. Strategic investors might consider reducing exposure to sectors that are heavily reliant on easily automated human labor. These industries are facing unprecedented downward pressure on wages and job growth. Instead, consider strategically increasing allocation to assets that artificial intelligence cannot replicate. Think of rare, experience-rich real estate, properties that offer unparalleled human connection, beauty, or unique geographic advantages. Consider intellectual property that taps into deep human emotion, original storytelling, or truly distinctive creative expression. Focus on inherent human value, not just efficient production. In 5 short years from now, will you be an owner, dictating the actions of powerful AI systems, shaping their outputs and defining their purpose? Or will you be merely a component, executing tasks that were largely generated and orchestrated by AI itself? The artificial intelligence tools in our hands are immensely powerful, truly transformative. The choice to wield it as a sword for innovation, to forge new paths and create unforeseen opportunities, or to hide behind a crumbling shield of outdated credentials and assumptions, rests entirely with you. This is not just a challenge, this is your defining moment, your chance to pivot, to evolve, not just to survive, but to thrive in the new intelligent age.